What's up, fight fans? Welcome to my channel. This is Johnny, and in today's video we're going to be going over the statistics that nobody talks about when mentioning this weekend's fight at 147 pounds in Manchester, England, between Jack Catterall and Harlem Eubank.
Down the stretch too. There's another one. Huge left hand. Who's in a bit of bother with 30.
Oh, great shots. Terrific left hand.
Guys, before I continue, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to everybody who's been with me since day one. If you haven't already, could you please remember to hit subscribe? Could you also like this video? And right now, go to the bottom of your screen, find the bell notification button, click that so you never miss a video. All right, guys, not the busiest week of boxing, but this is kind of the calm before the storm for the month of July. We know that this coming month is fully loaded. Our journey has taken us to Istanbul, Turkey, though. There are fights on tonight. The main event between Albert Batagaziev taking on the Brit Jazza Dickens. If you haven't seen my fight prediction and breakdown, that's tagged in this video in the comment section below. Does anyone see Jazza getting the victory over the undefeated gold medal Olympian from Russia? But in this video, it takes us to Manchester, England, an interesting fight at 147 pounds between Jack Catterall and Harlem Eubank. In this video, we're going to be going over both fighters' careers. We're going to talk a little bit about how they go about their business, the pros and cons of their style, and stay tuned to the end of the video because that's where I'm going to be going over the Las Vegas odds. I'm also going to give you my prediction and telling you where to put your money. All right, guys, this is an interesting matchup between two Brits, in my opinion, a guy in Jack Catterall who should have been an undisputed champion with his first fight against Josh Taylor. It's not shocking to say that I think he kind of got robbed on the scorecards. We know it didn't go his way. He fought Taylor again and won the rematch, but Catterall has yet to find that world title strap around his waist. He's coming off of a loss against Arnold Barboza Jr. in a world title eliminator, and we know Barboza Jr. went on to fight Teofimo Lopez, and Lopez beat him. So that loss plus Josh Taylor the first time are the only two blemishes on Catterall's record. He's facing a Harlem Eubank guy who comes from a boxing family. It's no secret with his last name. He is the nephew of Chris Sr. and the cousin of Chris Jr. Whenever you have that last name, Eubank, especially in the UK, you're going to have high hopes, high aspirations, and the people are going to be tuning in to this fight. So if anything, this is a litmus test, in my opinion, for Harlem. This will be his biggest step up in competition. We last saw him fight Tyron McKenna. He won that fight via stoppage, and after that fight, he actually called out Conor Benn. We know that fight is not going to materialize anytime soon because Ben and his cousin Junior are going for the rematch. When you look at Eubank's career thus far, this will be his third fight at 47. This will be Catterall's first fight at 47. It's something to think about. You can make what you want about the move up for Jack. Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Is this a move out of desperation? Was he cutting too much weight at 40? Will he look better at 47? A lot of these questions will be answered on fight night. Right now, I do want to take a closer look at what's at stake this weekend in Manchester, England. All right, guys, Jack Catterall will face the undefeated Harlem Eubank in a welterweight contest in Manchester's AO Arena this weekend. Former world title challenger Catterall, 32, lost to Arnold Barboza Jr. in February, while fellow Brit Eubank, 31, has won all of his 21 fights since becoming pro in 2017. This is another huge domestic fight that I can really sink my teeth into, said Catterall. I'm eager to put on a big performance and make a statement in my first fight up at welterweight. The Eubank name is hot at the moment, but I'm ready to put a fire out in style. Eubank said, "This is a fight that's been on my radar for a long time, and I'm delighted it's finally happening. Jack is a world-class fighter, and in my view, and many others, a former undisputed champion. These are the elite level matchups I've been calling for, and make no mistake, I'm ready." Catterall missed out on becoming England's first male undisputed champion in the four-belt era when he lost to Taylor in 2022. Most ringside observers felt he should have been awarded the decision against the Scot. Catterall bounced back with a dominant win over Jorge Linares, gained revenge in a rematch with Taylor, and edged past Regis Prograis. He was one win away from a second world title shot, but came up short in a close fight against Barboza Jr. Eubank has built his name on free-to-air television, but has yet to fight anyone of Catterall's level. After his win over McKenna, he called for a fight with Conor Benn, who was beaten by Eubank Jr. last month Harlem knows on a domestic level, people know his name. He feels this is an opportunity, in his words, to beat a former undisputed world champion in Catterall. Guys, we know that's not what the history books will tell us, though. We know Catterall lost that fight. When I look at these guys and what's at stake, it's pretty interesting considering if Catterall goes in and beats Eubank, what are his naysayers going to say? If Catterall loses to Eubank, where does he go from here? I think it's a pretty risky fight in terms of risk versus reward and value for Catterall, considering that this is a guy who feels that he could mix it up with the best in the world and has shown that time and time again. Not yet at 147, but we'll see on the weekend. With Harlem, as of late, he keeps leveling up. If you ask me, I feel this is an example of a guy got into boxing late, we know that, but with each fight, he's showing me more and more. So right now, I want to remind everybody what Harlem Eubank has been up to in his career. Guys, Eubank is 21-0 with 9 knockouts out of 2,588 fighters in the world at 147. He's ranked number 20. He's fought a career total of 134 pro rounds and carries into the ring a 43% career knockout to win ratio. The 30-year-old Brit is a 5'8" orthodox fighter. He was born and raised in Brighton, Sussex, United Kingdom. We last saw him fight Tyron McKenna, 24-5, stopped him in the 10th. Erdogan, 16-3, won a UD in the 8th. Schwarzkopf, 22-5, stopped him in the 11th. Ellis, 14-6, stopped him in the 7th. Anton, 20-11, won a UD in the 10th. So even though he doesn't have a crazy knockout to win ratio, Eubank has stopped 3 out of his last 4 opponents. What does that tell you? Sitting on better shots, committing to his power even more. When you look at Harlem Eubank's style, he's going to have more volume than Jack Catterall. He's going to have a decent jab. He throws punches in bunches when he wants to. He's going to have an interesting matchup, though, facing a world-class level southpaw, like I already talked about. There's nobody even close to Eubank's resume that you can even compare Jack Catterall to. This will be the biggest win of his career, and I think already ranked number 20 on BoxRec's algorithm at 47. You'd have to think Eubank get a victory over Catterall. He might be in line for at least a title eliminator fight, all things considered. Right now, I do want to take a look at Catterall and see what he's been up to in his career. Guys, Catterall's 30-2 with 13 knockouts out of 2,588 fighters in the world at 147. He's ranked number 6. He's fought a career total of 230 pro rounds and carries in the ring a 43% career knockout to win ratio. His adoring fans know him as El Gato, and the 32-year-old Brit is a 5'7" southpaw with a 69-inch reach. He was born and raised in Chorley, Lancashire, United Kingdom. We last saw him fight Arnold Barbosa Jr., 31-0, lost a split in the 12th. Prograis, 29-2, won a UD in the 12th. Taylor, the second time, 19-1, won a UD in the 12th. Linares, 47-8, won a UD in the 12th. Dara Foley, 22-4, won a UD in the 10th. And the fight before that was his first loss against Josh Taylor in a very controversial decision. When you look at Jack Catterall's style, the way he goes about his business, he doesn't throw a lot of volume, but he's a smooth operator. He doesn't use the entire ring, but he does use his footwork to evade offense, and then he likes to counter. He has good hand speed. He doesn't have a high knockout to win ratio, but he does have power. He uses his timing to create his power, and when a lot of times he has an opponent who's going to be overly aggressive and gets caught out of position, Catterall will look to counter him, and this is where I feel he does his best work. He has a good jab. He uses it a lot. Like I said, he uses his timing and accuracy to win rounds rather than drown you with volume. So it's going to be an interesting matchup side by side. When I look at both guys side by side, Catterall and Eubank, the age is about similar, 32 and 31. The reach kind of cancels each other out as well. The ring experience, world champion pedigree, resumes, all of that goes to Catterall. You got to think about the confidence Catterall is taking into this fight. He wants the Eubank last name on his resume. Eubank is going to have a tough hill to climb in terms of getting in on Catterall and being able to outpoint him and outstrike him. Does he have the power to stop Catterall? I don't think so. I think, though, he's going to use his volume and he's going to use his punch output to make Jack uncomfortable. He's going to want to also be the more physical and more busier fighter, and we'll see if that's going to be enough in a 12-round fight to get the decision. Right now, I want to take a closer look at the Las Vegas odds. Guys, remember, on these videos, you're only going to get my money line prediction, but I go live every single day, so if you haven't hit the bell notification button to remind you when I go live, do that right now. In those live streams, I give you my prop bets. We build our week-long and month-long fight parlay. We talk about over and unders and knockdown props. So right All right, guys, the app I use down here in Australia is called Sportsbet. Jack Catterall is a $1.35 favorite, meaning you put $100 on Jack, you get your money back plus $35. The draw is 15 to 1. Eubank is a $3.50 underdog, meaning you put 100 on Harlem to win, you get your money back plus 250 bucks. So the odds makers have Harlem not quite as a 3 to 1 underdog. In my opinion, I think that these odds are a little bit kind towards Harlem Eubank. I know people like that undefeated record. I know that Chris Sr. is going to be in his corner. It's been well documented. We know Harlem has that last name, but at the end of the day, when that fight starts, only Harlem could fight his fights. He hasn't really been matched up against a guy like Jack Catterall. With Catterall, this is a high-level operator. He is world-class. And right now, I just don't think Harlem Eubank is world-class. I don't think he has the power to get Jack's respect, and I think Jack's slickness as a southpaw, his timing, his understanding of range, how he uses his footwork to evade and then counter, I think all of that is going to be too much. I fully expect Jack Catterall to get back on the winning track and put his name in a pot of a division at 147 that really isn't that deep. When you look at the title holders, you got Norman Jr. who's making waves as of late. You got Mario Barrios fighting Manny Pacquiao, and with the news that Boots is moving up to 54, you got to think that those two belts that he holds will be vacated. So with a victory for Catterall, like I said, I think it puts him right on track to becoming a first-time world champion. Guys, you don't have to agree with me. This is an interesting fight. It's going to be a close fight and a tough fight. In the comment section below, how do you see this one going? Do you think Catterall gets back on his winning ways, or do you think Harlem Eubank continues on his undefeated streak? Also, guys, if you haven't seen my breakdown, analysis, and prediction of the fight going down tonight in Istanbul, Turkey, between Albert Bardagaziev and the Brit Jazza Dickens, stay tuned to the channel because that's coming up right now.